Good evening. As President of l'Association mauricienne des femmes chefs d'entreprise, I am honored to welcome you all to the launching of a workshop to establish a coaching and mentoring program for women entrepreneurs in the Indian Ocean. We wish to thank the Australian High Commissioner, Mrs. Suzanne Coles, and her team for her trust in our association to run this regional program with the Australian aid. This program will be championed by a leading Australian woman entrepreneur, Oceanic Regional Commissioner of the Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise Mondiale, and Vice President for the International Alliance of Women, Mrs. Jan Thompson, in collaboration with Mrs. Aline Wong, the Regional Commissioner of the Indian Ocean Region for the Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise Mondiale. Our program is in line with the IORE, Women Economic Empowerment event, with the adoption of the American Census on Gender Equality and Women's Economic Empowerment, which took place in August 2015 in Seychelles. This especially designed program will accompany women entrepreneurs to grow their existing enterprises, develop opportunities to move into mainstream development, equality, child development and family welfare, SMEDA, NWC, and our strategic work partners, MTEL, DGT Associates, KPMG, WIN, and Protect and MCCI are important to the success of this program. We make an appeal to you all to support us to roll this program. I wish to thank all my executive members, past presidents, and FCM commissioners for their valuable support toward the success of this event. Alone we are invisible, together we are invincible. We thank you for your attention.
Your Excellency, Minister Bola, Madam President Marie France, Mrs. Diane Thompson, Oceanic Regional Commissioner for the Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise Mondiale and Vice President for the International Alliance of Women, Mrs. Aline Wong, Association Mauricienne des Chefs d'Entreprise, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Following the success of last week's major IORA Women's Economic Empowerment event, hosted in Seychelles, it is with much pleasure that I am here tonight to launch, with the Association Mauricienne des Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise, a workshop to establish a coaching and mentoring program for women entrepreneurs in the Indian Ocean. As we've heard, the training program will be run by leading Australian woman entrepreneur, Mrs. Diane Thompson, in collaboration with Mrs. Aline Wong and their team from the AMFCE. Their specially designed program will accompany women entrepreneurs here in Mauritius and Rodrigues to grow their existing enterprises, develop opportunities to move into mainstream development, help women to overcome barriers and move from informal to more formal sectors. As mentioned, the IORA Women's Economic Empowerment Conference, which was held in the Seychelles last week, was co-hosted by Australia's Ambassador for Women and Girls, Her Excellency Ms. Natasha Stock-Despoja, who visited Mauritius in September last year and met with and was impressed by so many of the Mauritian women entrepreneurs, including many of you here this evening. She co-hosted the meeting with her counterpart, Dr. Erna Athanasius, the Seychelles Ambassador for Women and Children, and together with some 90 participants from all around the Indian Ocean Rim Association, they adopted the Mahe Consensus on Gender Equality and Women's Economic Empowerment. I am personally thrilled that just 1 week after that IORA event, we are launching a practical initiative reflecting Recommendation 4 of the Mahe Consensus, focusing on encouraging women to establish and participate in business networks and offering training to women in business strategies. This part of the program, together with Seychelles' project last week, will be followed by Phase 2 in Madagascar and Comoros during the second part of this year and early next year. So that covers, for those of you who know, the 4 countries which I have the great privilege and honour to cover in my responsibilities here in the Indian Ocean: Mauritius, Seychelles, Comores and Madagascar. And it's no surprise that Mauritian women entrepreneurs, together with their Australian sisters, are leading the way in the region. This project is an excellent example of Australia's commitment as current chair of IORA to women's economic empowerment as a cross-cutting issue. And that's during the course of last week, we also met women working in SMEs in the blue economy in Seychelles. And I know that there are women working in that sector today here in Mauritius and of course Rodrigues, who are playing a very important role in what is to be now a key pillar for Mauritius's economic growth and development going forward into what may become the century of the ocean or the blue economy. So it is with great pleasure that I acknowledge and thank Minister for coming along and lending your support here this evening. I also acknowledge Mauritius's first woman president of the Mauritius Chamber of Commerce and Industry, a milestone for Mauritius in electing a woman to this important role. And of course, I must acknowledge the wonderful new President of Mauritius, who is setting such a shining example for women across Mauritius and Rodrigues, in fact, across the region and the globe, not only as a woman leader of her country, but also as a leading woman entrepreneur. I think she's going to inspire you all, as she has inspired me personally. So may I wish you all the best for the next few days. I know there's going to be lots of discussions and hard work amongst the women here, and you're going to take forward your businesses and the leadership that women here in Mauritius are showing to the region with great strength going forward. Thank you.
Marie-France Marie, aujourd'hui je fais le lancement d'un atelier de travail. Nous ne pouvons pas trop comprendre qui a été atelier de travail avec le coaching.
Ok, donc aujourd'hui l'association mauricienne des femmes chefs d'entreprise et avec la collaboration de Strength High Commission et nous lançons un workshop pour élaboration, mentoring et coaching programme pour les femmes entrepreneurs dans la région. Donc il y a Diana Thompson, qui est le commissaire de la FCEM pour la région océanique, avec la collaboration de Mme Ali Moum, qui tient poste présidente de l'association mauricienne des femmes chefs d'entreprise. Il est aussi un commissaire des femmes chefs d'entreprise mondiale pour l'océan Indien. Donc, ça là, c'est des autres qui peuvent aider nous dans sa coaching là, c'est des champions pour aider nous dans sa coaching et mentoring programme.
Okay. Qui fait du coaching, c'est une femme entrepreneur?
Alors, qui fait du coaching, ce programme-là, justement, nous ne pouvons pas implémenter. C'est maintenant que nous faisons l'élaboration. Donc, nous pouvons prendre l'expertise de l'Australie, à travers Mme Thompson, les mêmes femmes entrepreneurs, les mêmes les de IWC. Donc, et puis, amène sur l'expertise australienne, justement, pour nous élaborer ce programme-là, pour qu'ils nous mettent dans le contexte Maurice, pour Rodrigue et la région. Et après, là, nous pouvons faire un mentoring, je peux dire, nous pouvons trainer du monde pour qu'ils fassent un mentor, une femme entrepreneur.
C'est un besoin de une femme entrepreneur à Maurice?
Exactement. Donc, ce que nous avons envie de faire, nous avons envie de toucher une femme entrepreneur qui est dans l'informel. Donc, nous avons envie qu'ils grandissent pour qu'ils viennent plus dans le secteur formel.
Ben, je ne sais pas trop que ça veut dire coaching, mentoring. Pas donner une explication qui était ça?
Alors, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire coaching, mentoring? Ça veut dire qu'on est aujourd'hui un femme entrepreneur. Il besoin tout simplement tout l'aspect leadership, communication, qualité. Et donc nous pouvons amener tout ça là vers une femme entrepreneur, mais surtout une femme entrepreneur qui est dans le boost level, ce qu'on peut dire qui est dans l'informel, justement pour qu'ils gagnent sa mentor là, pour qu'ils soient capables de grandir.
Donc, un atelier qui vous pose sûrement un rapport de penser comme un premier training pour une femme entrepreneur, pérante en action, et comment gagner sur les fils le semaine femme.
Alors, ça, là, c'est une première phase, comme on fait dire, c'est une collaboration avec le Strength High Commission. Donc, la première phase, c'est justement pour le développement, l'élaboration du programme. Après, quand nous commençons à faire l'implémentation, donc ça, c'est une seconde phase qui, après, nous pouvons informer. Donc, nous avons déjà fini 4 heures pour Maurice, pour Seychelles et pour Rodrigue. À ce moment-là, nous commençons à faire l'implémentation de ce programme.
Donc l'implémentation début 2016.
Début 2016, à partir de l'année 2016.
Dan, I've heard that you're a champion in coaching and mentoring. My only one question for you: what is coaching? What is mentoring?
It's easily explained that coaching is where someone is a teacher and helps other people find the skills necessary to do their job. Mentoring is where a mentor doesn't coach, they help the mentee find their own ability. So they'll ask questions, relevant questions of the mentee. They'll maybe ask them how they think that they can improve their businesses, where they can find people who will help them grow their business. Rather than a coach who will say, well, this is what you're going to do and this will help you grow your business, and you do it step 1, step 2, step 3. So a mentor is a completely different concept from coaching.